Like always.
We're marching like this.
Go to your chat. The what? Yes. Go to, hold on. Go to your
Dale
class,
son, entra. You wanted de esa?
Google Classroom. It should be on
Para
Okay.
entrar a NASA, ven para el número.
the, no, that's me, no, it's on the 18th.
All right. Hey, good morning. I'm Andres Martinez. Welcome to Destination Space 2021. I'm Andres Martinez, a NASA engineer with the NASA Advanced Exploration Systems Division. My office is just a few miles from your school, so we're very close to your schools. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Mark Kirasich, and he is the Deputy Associate Administrator for the Advanced Exploration Systems within the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. In February, we took you to Mars. This month, in March, we're taking you to the moon. We're going to the moon. So we're going to talk about our Artemis program, which is our new moon program. Mr. Kirasich is leading the development for NASA's Artemis 3 mission and future missions in the Artemis program. This includes a lunar orbiting spaceship, the systems that will land astronauts on the moon, and lunar surface systems for exploration. Mr. Kirasich will talk about the Artemis program, our new moon program, answering why we're going, what we'll do here, there, who's going, and what these missions will look like. Everyone participating in and watching these missions is a part of the Artemis generation, and that includes all of you, okay? So remember, we're doing these talks because NASA needs your help. We want you to do well in school, and then listen to your parents, be good community members, and then do everything that your teachers and your parents tell you to do so that soon you can join us and work with us. Let me introduce you to Mr. Mark Kirasich. And remember, there's only one rule. We have to keep our microphones muted, okay? So that we can give him the courtesy of doing his presentation. And then at the end, we're gonna have a few minutes to ask a bunch of questions. So thank you. Please help me welcome Mr. Kirasich. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Andres. And Andres, so everybody's mic is muted, but are there cameras on? Or that will be at the end? Andres, are you able to hear me?
I was muted. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So some do have their cameras on.
Okay.
And when we stop sharing, we will ask everyone to turn on their camera so you can see everyone.
Yeah, good. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Okay.
So I guess it's morning by you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for dialing in today. And it's lunchtime here in Houston, Texas. By the way, I don't know what one thing Andres didn't mention to you when he was introducing to me is how important his role is in Artemis. Andres leads the development of several really important satellites that are going to launch this summer and this fall, and they're going to go ahead of some of the things I'm going to show you, and they're going to go to the moon first and take pictures and help us know exactly where to land. And I talk to Andres every Thursday afternoon, say, Andres, how's my satellites coming? And he's doing a great job building those satellites and delivering them to the Kennedy Space Center. So I really appreciate coming to this forum, not only so I can spend time with Andres, but also your schools are right down the street from a school I used to go to. I went to Stanford University. You guys probably know where that is, right? Right down the road. Andres, you may have to answer for everybody.
Yes, just down the road. It's in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. So I know what a beautiful community you live in, and you are so lucky to have Andres around to help organize this for you and then show you the kinds of opportunities that are available to people who work hard and have set goals for themselves. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to start from Stanford, go forward, and then I'm going to come backwards in a little bit. But I left Stanford. Well, I'm going to date myself. I left in 1983, and I've been in Houston ever since, working for NASA since 1983. And I started off in the Mission Control Center during the Space Shuttle program. And I was a person who worked in the control center who helped the astronauts on the space shuttle conduct their missions. And then I became a flight director. So I was in charge of the missions. And then in the mid-90s, I started traveling to Moscow, Russia, because that's the time when the Cold War was ending and the walls were coming down, and we had a joint space program with the Russians where we flew our space shuttle to the Mir space station. And I was actually in the Mission Control Center in Moscow for the first 6 shuttle to Mir docking missions in space. Really, really fantastic time. And then I came back. I was a space station flight director. I helped assemble the space station, which has been continuously inhabited by people, by men and women in low Earth orbit for over 20 years now. And then in 2006, the earliest parts of this program were just beginning, and we were starting to build a spacecraft. You'll see a little picture of it later called Orion. Orion is the spaceship that will take people from the surface of the Earth farther into space than we've ever gone before and for longer durations. And I got to work on Orion. I got to build Orion, test Orion, and I was the program manager for Orion up until just exactly 1 year ago when I started my headquarters job. Of course, since it's been COVID, I haven't been to my headquarters office in Washington, D.C. once. I'm still here in Houston. But a year ago, I started this headquarters job working with Andres and people from across the country to help build the entire lunar program. So that's been my career, and I cannot tell you how just incredible lucky every day I wake up. My wife says this to me. My wife doesn't like it because I like to work so much. I work all the time, but I've always enjoyed what I do because it's so fun. It's so interesting. I've had such great experiences. So I wanted to share a little bit about where I'm from today with you, and then more importantly, where we're all going together. And I hope some of you will join us, like Andres said. Some of you will join us and become engineers, scientists, and I'm sure there's somebody on here who is one day going to be an astronaut traveling on one of these spacecraft going to these destinations. So let's get started. Just a little bit. I don't want to go too fast. But now we're going to go backwards. I'm going to tell you where I'm from. Let's see, Andres, let me make sure I can. Here we go. This is, believe it or not, this is a picture of me. Andres, can you see? Is this coming across?
Yeah, we can see it clearly.
Yeah, this is a picture, a little boy, 5-ish years old, 4 years old in Chicago, Illinois. And you can tell I always liked fixing things. I always liked tools. I was always taking things apart, and my parents would get so mad at me. But that got me interested in engineering, and I will tell you then what that led to. July 1969, I was 9 years old. And I was sitting in my living room in the evening. Does anybody on this telecon know what happened in July of 1969? Now somebody, Andres, you've got to enable somebody's mic to answer this question. What happened in July 1969?
Yeah, does anybody know? Raise your hand or open your mic and help us. Yeah, oh, Lanedale Alexander. Ms. Martinez came, yeah. What happened, Alexander?
Go ahead, Alexander, go ahead.
Perseverance was launched into space.
Yeah, actually, that's a great answer, except that was about 50 years later. This is 1969, a long time ago. Anybody know in July of 1969? Who's next?
Oh, Jocelyn. How about Jocelyn? Go ahead, Jocelyn. Open your mic. Uh-oh, she can't open her mic.
Should we try one more, Andres? Otherwise, we're going to see if
Yeah.
you know. We're going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Jocelyn, can you hear us? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Oh, she can't.
Oh,
How about Miss Moller? There's a little one behind Miss Moller. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Get close to the mic.
You can tell the man landed. The man landed.
Yeah, yes, yes.
On the moon.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What's your name?
Charlotte.
Marlene?
Speak loudly. Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah.
Charlotte, hey, thank you. Thank you for answering that question. You're exactly right. July 1969, two men that time from the planet Earth, for the very first time in our civilized history, stepped foot on another planet, the moon. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. I was 9 years old, and I told you, I remember it like I'm here today talking to you. I was in my living room in Chicago. My dad was on one side of me, my little sister, my 6-year-old sister was on my left side, and we watched Neil and Buzz land. We watched them do a spacewalk. And then when their spacewalk was over, we ran out in the yard, and we tried to find Neil and Buzz. We looked up at the moon, and I saw a picture just like this. When I got this presentation, this just reminded me of that day. I looked at the moon. Now, the moon's pretty far away, 200,000 miles, so I couldn't see Neil and Buzz that night. We tried, but I was so motivated. That night changed my life. I was so motivated and that really set my career, my whole life, because as you saw before, I had a natural affinity. I liked science. I liked math. And I did well. And just like you, I did well in school. And I went to the University of Notre Dame, and then I went to Stanford, and then ended up with NASA, where I wanted to be all of my life since I was 9 years old. So I really telling that story because I'll tell you, there weren't astronauts, there weren't people that walked on the moon in Chicago, Illinois. We were small, poor family, but again, my parents believed in me, and I was so inspired that I was able to do these incredible things in my career. And I know there's people here today that are going to do the same sorts of things. So let me tell you what we have going on, and I'll tell you why it's so important to me to talk today, because you can figure out my age. If I was 9 in 1969, you can do the math to 2020. I'm not going to be around in this job for much longer. We need the next generation of scientists and mathematicians and astronauts to continue what we started. And let me show this to you. So we are going to go back to the moon. Andres mentioned this to you because we want to learn to live on other planets, other foreign bodies. And I believe because I've always felt this way, people love to explore, whether it's science in a classroom under a microscope, whether it's sailing across an ocean to a new uncharted land, whether it's traveling to space someplace for the first time. People love to explore. We love to learn. We love to discover. I believe that. I see it every day. Apollo was the name of the program in the 1960s, and that is an Apollo astronaut. That's Mike Collins. He was the pilot. He was the command module pilot in July 1969, going around the moon while Buzz and Neil landed on it. That's a picture of him from 1969. And here's a picture of today's astronauts getting ready to do what they did, only we're going to do something slightly different. This time, the last time we went for a couple of short missions. Six different crews of 2 people landed on the moon. They stayed for a couple of days each, and then they came home. This time we're going to stay. We're going to start humanity's exploration journey to the stars. And we call this, the name of our program is Artemis. Apollo in the 1960s, Artemis today. So our first destination, when we went in 1969, we landed around the center of the moon, about the equator of the moon. This time we're going to someplace more remote, more scientifically interesting. It's a place where nobody has ever been before. It's the South Pole, and this is a picture of it here. And there's a lot of really interesting features at the South Pole. First of all, there's a lot of water. There's a lot of frozen ice. And much of the South Pole has been in the darkness. Much of it's been in the light for hundreds and thousands of years. So there's just a whole bunch of incredible reasons to go here and to begin our journey. Now, how do people get back and forth from the Earth to the moon? Well, they fly in a spacecraft, and this is the spacecraft right here. This is the one I told you I helped build. This is called Orion. It's a small spacecraft. It's about 5 meters, about 15 feet in diameter, and 4 people. It can carry 4 people for about 3 weeks, about 1 week to go to the moon, 1 week going around the moon, and one week coming home. But this is the spacecraft they'll travel in, and you can see, you probably recognize these. These are solar rays. These are just like the solar rays we have on Earth, except when we take them into space, every part of the spacecraft has got to be built differently because of the incredible dangers and hazards of being in space. First of all, there's no air in space. There is no air. You can't breathe. It's a complete vacuum. So we have to keep the spacecraft airtight, and we have to supply air into the spacecraft. Secondly, with no atmosphere, the temperatures are very extreme. When you're in the sunshine, the hots are really hot. Almost, oh, knock on the door. Not for me. 300 degrees it can get in the sun if the sun is shining on the spacecraft. But if you're pointed away from the sun and you're not getting the warmth, the heat, minus 200 degrees. So the same spacecraft, one edge of the solar ray can be pointed at the sun, plus 200. The other side can be pointed at deep space, minus 200. Incredible environmental differences. And then there's the radiation. Without the Earth's protective atmosphere to shield us from the radiation, first of all, the people have to be protected, and all of our computers, all of our systems have to be protected. So what we do is really hard to send people so far away from the Earth, which is why it takes a while, and why it takes so many smart people to build these kind of spaceships. Now, when we go other places, it's not only about learning about the other place, about the moon, it also gives us very unique vantage points to look back at the Earth. And in fact, many people, I don't know if you recall these pictures, but many people credit a picture taken in 1968 on the Apollo 8 mission. It was the very first time humans went around the moon, and when they came from the backside of the moon and they pointed back toward the Earth, they took an incredible picture just like this that shows our amazing, very fragile blue planet floating in the middle of space. So it's really, and many people credit that picture with the start of the environmental movement, which is so important to all of us here today to protect our planet. So we go to space not only to learn about new things, but also to learn about our current home. To do these things, we need new machines. And I told you about Orion. There are many companies across the United States right now that are building all of the different kinds of machines that we will need. One is the spacecraft to take people from Earth to the moon. This is a picture of a lander. And landers are used to put heavy objects on the surface of the moon. And you can see the engines firing here. You have to slow down and land very gently. What we're going to do before people go for the first time is we're going to send robots. We'll send robots that will land on the surface of the moon. And this one right in the middle is called the Viper. Andres, have you had anybody come talk about Viper yet?
So they will be presenting this month. Yeah, as part of the Artemis program.
That's great. Yep. Good. This is a really important robot because it's going to come ahead of the people, and it's going to explore around the South Pole. It's going to go find these patches of water and these patches of frozen ice so we know where to land. Meanwhile, in orbit, there will be a satellite, a robotic satellite called the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which takes pictures of the surface of the moon, so we get detailed maps. Just like if we're landing an airplane in California, we want to know where the runways are. We need to know where to land on the moon because the moon has big craters, deep craters, large ridges, and we have to avoid hazardous areas. So we need really detailed maps of the surface, and that's what this orbiter does. Now today we're building the biggest, most powerful rocket that people on the Earth have ever built. It's called the Space Launch System. It's built by NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. And you can see it here. There are two big rockets on the side. Those are called solid rocket boosters. And there's one gigantic orange fuel tank in the middle. It carries liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, which is the fuel for the ascent. This is the most powerful rocket we've ever built, and it's what Orion is going to ride on and get launched into space so it can travel the moon. This rocket right now is in a city called Stennis, Mississippi, where it's in a test stand, and we're conducting a hot fire. It's strapped to a test stand, bolted down by really gigantic holding bolts, and then we fire the engines and we test the engines, and we got to be really careful so it doesn't break away and fly into space right there on the test stand. Here we are. This is a picture of the backside of Orion. This is the Orion spacecraft, and this is very, very, very similar to the picture that the crew of Apollo 8 sent back to us the first time. You see, that's exactly the view they saw. And can you imagine being the first 3 human beings that saw that picture for the first time? And it also gives you a perspective. When we go into low lunar orbit, it can be 60 to 100 kilometers off the surface of the moon. It's not very far off at all. It's very, very close to the surface. Now, here are some really special people. This is the team of Artemis Astronauts, a group of astronauts who, when we pick the people who will travel on Orion and land on the moon, will come from this group of people. And they helped us build a video to share with you today. So, Andres, I'm going to see if I can get this one going.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Yes, we'll do.
All right, so far so good. We're going to make it big.
Coming up. Yep, it's coming. We can see the window.
We're going to play it.
Okay. Perfect.
At NASA, we have always answered the innate call to go.
With Artemis,
we are going to stay.
proving that humanity
can live on the moon,
Mars,
and other worlds,
and share the wonders of the solar system with all.
Our story is one of people.
all those who make this journey possible.
From advocates across communities,
to companies across industries,
To countries around the world,
we achieve
This collective endeavor.
our efforts create impact for all.
Technologies that revolutionize industries.
And jobs that bring prosperity to people. The discoveries from space
benefit the way we live on Earth today.
and those from the moon
will create a better future
for generations to come.
But to do that,
We must go.
Hi, I'm Chell Ingram.
My name is Raja Chari.
Kayla Barron.
Kate Rubens. Hi, I'm Christina Cook.
NASA astronaut Joe Akaba.
Jessica Amir.
Woody Hoberg.
Ann McLean.
Stephanie Wilson.
My name is Johnny Kim.
Nicole Mann.
Victor Glover.
Jessica Watkins.
Hi, I'm Matthew Dominic.
Jasmine Mogbelli.
Frank Rubio.
Scott Tingle.
This is what we do. This is what we will do.
Let's go.
We go to the moon to learn how to live on other planets.
For the benefit of all.
Whew, sign me up. Who's ready? That's going to be hard to beat. I think I just ought to give up now, huh? Let me see. Let me go back to my slides. I hope I can do this.
Okay.
Good. Thank you. And by the way, that was.
If you're watching this video and you pay a monthly electric bill of over $100, it means you can now switch to solar energy for no cost out of pocket if you need just 3.
Do I have to go kill that?
What this means is that your power meter may now run backwards, putting a credit on your electric bill.
There we
have
go.
to pay again. Some homeowners get paid by their utility company by selling.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Don't ever let me run the window again.
You did fine, Mark. Okay, everyone. Mark, are we ready for a photo with everyone?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. Everyone has their camera open. Perfect. Okay.
Andres, will you be able to get a picture and send it to me?
Yes, absolutely. Let's take another one. Ready? Okay, everybody smile, big smile for Mark Kirasich. Yes, okay, that was perfect. Okay, Mr. Natividad, this was, Mark, thank you. This was a very inspirational presentation. Did everybody like it?
Yes.
Like you did?
Thank you.
Can we please,
right.
Mr. Mark Kirasich? Okay, just a virtual round of applause. All right.
Okay. We have Freddie who raised his hand. What would be your question? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Freddie?
Never mind. I accidentally press raise my hand. I didn't have an answer.
Oh, okay. Next time then. Okay. How about in Lindale Elementary, Alexander?
Oh.
Go ahead, unmute yourself, Alexander. Go ahead, Alexander. Oh. Oh, it doesn't work.
Oh, poor Alexander.
Nayeli, we're going to go with Nayeli. Think of your question, Alexander. Now, Nayeli.
Have you seen Pluto?
Nayeli, can you repeat the question? Have I done what?
Have you seen Pluto?
Sure, I've seen Pluto. From the ground, though, I look in the sky looking for Pluto and pictures of Pluto. How about you? Have you seen Pluto?
Thank you. Okay. Manuel, where did he go? Manuel? Let me see. Destiny, how about Destiny? There she is. Destiny, go ahead and ask your question. Destiny, from Ms. Tran's class.
I wanted to ask, when you go to Mars, does it hurt?
No, and that's why we need smart, talented engineers to build spacecraft that keep people comfortable and healthy during them. Because when we go to Mars, it's going to take about 6 months or longer each way.
And spacesuits, Mark.
And spacesuits, yes.
Okay. Jose Arroyo, would you like to ask your question? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Jose Arroyo from Ms. Mesa's class.
Will we ever go to planets beyond Mars?
I firmly believe we will. Yes, yes, we will. Just like in the earliest days, people started sailing. They would sail across the lake, eventually sail across the ocean. We're taking our first steps. We'll go to the moon, we'll go to Mars, and then we will build bigger spacecraft and go farther places for longer durations.
Thank you. Oh, I see Nevea. Let me see, Nevea. There you are. Go ahead.
Can there be more than 2 astronauts on a planet?
Yeah, that's actually our goal. On the moon, we're going to send 4 astronauts down to the surface of the moon at one time to make sure we can live 4 people.
Okay. Let's see. Wow, we have a lot of questions. We're going to try and answer as many as possible. Max Solis, go ahead. You've raised your hand since the beginning. Let me see. Max Solis, go ahead.
Did he how to go in space?
Max asked me, did something go into space? Max, I missed the key part of the question.
Max, can you ask it one more time and unmute yourself?
I said, did he go to outer space when he was little?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, Max. That's the only regret of my career. I've never been.
Oh.
Do you want to go?
Max, you're gonna go, right?
Okay.
We lost.
Let's see. We have Giselle from Miss Tran's class. Go ahead, Giselle. Unmute yourself.
I'm going to ask if you can jump really high in space, then does it make you run slow in space or does it make you run faster?
If you jump really high, was that your question, Giselle?
If you can't really hear me, I can speak louder. I said, if you can jump really high in space, then if that means you can run really slow or fast in space.
Yeah. I think the problem is if you jump in space, there's no gravity. So if you jump off something, you keep going until something slows you down and pushes you the other way. You can't run at all because you're off the ground. Did you understand, Giselle?
No, I'm saying if you can jump really high.
Uh-huh.
I'm not asking that. I'm asking, can you run fast in space or can you run slow?
You mean if you jump and then run?
No, I'm not like you run by itself. Is it fast or slow?
Yeah, just running. Can we run faster in space?
Oh, we tend to run at the same speed, but because there's no gravity, what we have to do is put rubber bands to attach us to the ground, to hold us to the ground. So we actually are exercising when we run.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one more question.
Okay, let's see. Kayla from Miss Let's class. Where are you? There you are. Kayla, go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Kayla, you got to unmute.
Do you think people are going to be able to live on Mars in the future?
Yeah, they sure are. We're working on that right now. We're building the spacesuits, like Lindsay said, and we're building the spaceships to protect them.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. If we didn't get to your question, join us tomorrow. We will be talking about Artemis the whole month of March, okay? Thank you so much.
One more time, open up your camera and smile wide, okay? I'm gonna take one more photo. Open up your camera, please, and smile for Mr. Mark Kirasich. Okay, ready? Max, James, Angel, Ito? Okay, there we go. Ready? Okay, one more time. Okay. All right, well, once again, let's give Mr. Kirisach one big round of applause. Okay, we're going to the moon, and he just told us how we're gonna get there. So let me also share with you that tomorrow we have another incredible talk. Mr. Jay Hollenbeck is going to talk to us about the biggest, most powerful rocket we've ever designed and built. We call it the Space Launch System. Okay, so come back tomorrow, but tomorrow is going to be at 12 noon. And then on Thursday, we have the only teacher that has been to space. Isn't that amazing? So Miss Barbara Morgan is going to join us, and we're going to have a chat. Okay, we're going to be able to ask her questions on how it was to train as an astronaut, and then how it was to go to space. What, how does that feel? And she's going to tell us what she's done since then. All right. So again, remember that you are very special, and we're doing this. We're bringing special people to give incredible talks because you're special, and we want you to start planning to work with us. We need you. Okay. Who's going to come and work with us? Raise your hand. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today. We're going to sign off. Thank you for coming, teachers, parents, students. We'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget,